welcome back. So again, I'm having some video problems. I'm doing this for like the third time this morning, but whatever. You don't need to know that really. Today's January 30th, 6:52 a.m. and you can see the futures are up from Apple. Good positive market reaction to their earnings, which is good. It's going to help hold up this market and maybe get us going up, get us moving up. S&P, you can see, moving sideways, holding up on this line, and working off the overbought reading on the oscillator here. It's 31.92 right now, down from 40, which is good. Let's take a look at my list, and I'm going to talk about Square and CGC as well. But I want to go through my current list right now. I've revamped it a little bit. Netflix has an ascending triangle on it with nice descending volume here. Breakout on this would be for 340. And I think that's going to be a really good opportunity to enter, especially off the earnings. That's a really good pattern. Typically, where a stock has moved up really well like this, pulled back, and then goes into an ascending triangle. Usually works out pretty good. So keep an eye on that. GRUB, again, after this nice big drop into an ascending triangle, that would be around 83.80. So you can draw your lines that way. DOMO has moved more into a bit of a bull flag. Still looks pretty good. 26.25 is where I have my breakout on that right now. ZS, again, still in this pattern. 46 is holding that down. Just keep an eye on that because it's attempted to go once. It's getting kind of thrown around inside there. Just be careful with it, I guess. MDB, same thing. I would just be careful with these. I don't know that these patterns are that good or that the stock is really that strong. It's amazing how this thing has moved back up, but now it's tested the line and failed. No volume showed up. If it can flag a little right there under that line and then go, we might see the volume show up then. PXD, again, with some of the oil stuff going on, just keep an eye on it. You might get some upside out of there. PXD right now I have it at 142.60. Now ABiomed, I'm still watching this line. I've moved it up a little bit. I've actually moved up to the high of that bar right there, which is 351. 351.74 is where I've moved that line to. It tested once, came back below, but again, the earnings are January 31st in the morning. And if they're good, it could drive that stock higher, which it has actually done before, and it could be a pretty significant gain if that happens. I want to talk really quick about Square and CGC. I was knocked out of both yesterday, but I'd like to hear some other people's comments about how they would handle a situation like this, because I was in from about that line and I had about an $11 gain, and I held all the way through there until I just couldn't take it anymore. Typically I want to hold to my stop and let the stock take me out. My stop was there and it never touched it, but to have an $11 gain evaporate in front of your eyes and not move is extremely difficult, right? I did get out. It took a long time. I just wanted to wait and give it a chance to possibly bounce or something. I was watching it on this line here, which was kind of supporting it along the way, waiting for it to hold. Never did. It actually accelerated down through there, and I think that's about when I got out of it. But yeah, I'm wondering how somebody else might handle it. If you were in from here and you saw all of that, what would you do? Where would you have had your stop? But yeah, ultimately with my rules, I could have still been in it now, because my rule is to hold my stop, and that's where I put my stop typically when I enter something until I get another pattern and it breaks out from that. Then I'll adjust my stop. That's typically how I do it, and I've never seen this happen before. I mean, I'm sure I know that it has, but it's never happened to me where I was in the stock and so much gain then had a huge gap down into a big drop. So I'm just wondering, yeah, if you want, leave a comment, I'd appreciate it. And then CGC, it hit my buy point. I got out of it before that, hit my buy point. I did get out, but ultimately, technically, it's still good because it's holding up on the 21-day line and never broke through this, or it has not yet broken through that. If you wouldn't have been able to get in there because it gapped up, but your stop may have been below that. So I'm out of this. We'll have to see if it can like reform another pattern or get going higher from here and just build its way out of this or something. Yeah, data, I got knocked out. The stop was hit there. Align is tanking on its earnings. Paycom pulled back a little. Palo Alto still looks pretty good. And surprisingly, AMD now had good earnings. So Palo Alto, being a tech, might start moving along with Apple, you know, a couple good tech stocks with good earnings. So that's about it. Next video will be tomorrow. Please leave comments if you like. Give me any insight you have into, you know, the Square situation, what happened there, or CGC even. I'd appreciate that. I'd love to get more discussion going or get some going in general. But yeah, the next video will be tomorrow, and